Hello. You just reached MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Your patience while holding is appreciated. Our representatives are working hard to get you closer to the guys on top of the pit boxes, over the wall, and on your radio dial. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Tony Rizzuti and Kit Cruz.
Welcome into another award-winning edition of MRN Crew Call presented by Hercules Tires. I am Tony Rizzuti, and I'm joined by a guy who makes me want to roll my windows down and cruise.
There we go.
Say hello to Kid Cruz.
I like that one.
See what I did there?
Yeah,
Cruise,
see what you did there.
Cruise and Cruise. You can join the
very much.
conversation by tweeting us. At MRN Radio is our Twitter handle. It is right there. Use the hashtag AskMRN so we can see your comments. We answer every single question we get, so we love it. At Real Kid Cruz, he loves the followers.
I have to answer like crazy.
Yeah, people are jumping on you. You got a lot of big fans. Also, don't forget about the fan forum hotline, 1-844 for Ask MRN to leave us a message. Always like to hear your feedback. Today we have a fun show for you. I have a feeling this one could get stretched out a little bit. There's so much content. Our first call will be over to Joe Gibbs Racing and Bristol winning crew chief Adam Stevens. How about the job Kyle Busch did?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I love this Adam Stevens dude. Yeah, Kyle Busch, he just tore it up.
Dude, it's one thing
he tore it up. He did to the field at Bristol what I predict I'm going to do today against Glenn Jarrett in 5-on-5 off.
It's what you do to a 12-pack of beer, man. You just
yeah.
crush it. Yeah, it's one thing to come from the back in the truck race. It's one thing to come from the back in an Xfinity race, but to come from the back in a cup race?
Impressive. Impressive.
He's solid. You mentioned Glenn Jarrett.
Yep.
He'll be our other crew call. We'll talk to him. Long-time NASCAR driver in what was the old Busch Series. Great storyteller. There may not be a better storyteller on the planet when it comes to NASCAR stories. He's got them, and they're hilarious. So we'll ask him some things. We'll find out what he thinks, and then we'll play the venerable game show, 5-on-5 off. I'm going to save the tease until later because it really has nothing to do with anything.
You're not going to give me a hint as to, not even a category? Nothing?
Nothing. I'll tell you right before we play the game.
All right.
That's just a prediction I'm going to make that I'll forget to tell you, and we'll do it right before the game.
All right.
Hey, it's time to check out this week's crew cut, and this is a gentleman that will be playing Billy Bob's in Fort Worth, Texas. No word yet on if he'll get on the Mechanical Bull. But what's up with Joe Nichols?
Well, you know, I know he's appreciated by one of our producers, Robbie Mays. He finally approves of this pick. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So he has a new album out, right, called Never Gets Old, and we were talking, we were reminiscing, and he's loved, you know, since he was a teenager, really the classics, and I think he's moving back in that direction. He doesn't really care for the bro country. It's not going to work for him, that sound.
Bro country?
Yeah, you don't like Florida Georgia Line and those kind of, you know, the whole bro country kind of sound. Robbie knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, so we got to reminiscing and found out that Joe Nichols, before he was a country superstar, was a radio DJ. We asked him about his radio DJ experience.
Let's see. I started there when I was maybe 16, I guess, and I think I made it a year actually. Before they finally, I was fired twice, which is a funny story. My program director came in. He actually called me several times. I did midnight to 6 shift. I didn't think anybody was listening, so I could stray away from the program law whenever I wanted to. And I would, like you said, I would play Merle Haggard and old school stuff, you know, like old stuff. And finally he got tired of calling me. He did it like 3 or 4 times, and he came in one morning and he said, "Yeah, that's going to be all. I'm going to let you go." And of course I was kind of heartbroken, but later that day they learned that the station got bought and he got fired that day. So
karma, baby, instant karma.
I know, and the music director that took over his job loved me. She and I got along great. And so she said, "You're not fired. You're rehired. You're coming with me."
Fired twice in one day as a radio DJ.
How about that?
Or I guess fired and rehired twice. Yeah, it's a crazy story. How many times have you been fired, Tony?
I haven't ever been. I've had jobs eliminated. Like when I was on Fox Race Hub, they kind of eliminated that job, and then
that's the TV term. Radio term, you get canned. TV,
no.
You know, they redirect.
By the way,
they eliminate your position.
You always make fun of me because you think I don't know these people. I wrote down 3 facts I actually knew about Joe Nichols, and what was number 1?
What was number 1? What? What? Was a disc jockey at a local country station when he was in high school.
He was actually a junior in high school when he got fired from that thing.
Wow, that's impressive.
He also was a cable guy before he made it big, and
That
he
I didn't
sang
know.
2 songs at Anna Nicole Smith's funeral. She was a huge fan of his.
Yeah?
Think I don't know these guys. I know these guys.
You know Google very well.
I know Wikipedia and Google. Hey, folks, don't forget, coming up next week, it's STP week around the Darlington Throwback. We always love that. Help keep your stored fuel fresh with STP Ultra 5-in-1 Plus Fuel System Cleaner and Fuel Stabilizer. All right, we got to take a break. Coming up, Bristol winning crew chief Adam Stevens. He's up next. No skipping. It's MRN Crew Call.
Has the summer heat taken a toll on your vehicle's battery? Count on O'Reilly Auto Parts for the Superstart battery that's right for your vehicle. For a limited time, purchase a Superstart Premium, Extreme, or Platinum battery and get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card by mail. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. While the best drivers in the world fire up their engines, it's time for you and the family to fire up the grill. Creekstone Farms has the most tender and highest quality premium Black Angus beef in the country and are offering one of their juiciest deals of the year this July. Race over to CreekstoneFarms.com now and use promo code MRN Burgers to get a box of 6 delicious burgers free when you place an order of $100 or more. That's promo code MRN Burgers at CreekstoneFarms.com to get your box of burgers for free today.
Are you in the concrete, construction, or waste industry? Are repair bills starting to pile up as your current mixer, dump, or waste truck starts to show its age? Before you make that plunge, consider an alternative to buying new. The Housby 2G second generation program is the complete refurbishment of your existing used trucks without the hefty price tag that comes with it. Extend the life of your current trucks today and give yourself an economic alternative to that new truck price. For more information, visit Housby.com. Housby, an official sponsor of NASCAR for over 40 years.
This is MRN Crew Call. For English, press 1. Hello, we're chuffed to pieces you've dropped by, love. We have more bits and bobs in stores. We chinwag with these 2 cheeky blokes. Here's Tony and Kid.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call. Kid Cruz, Tony Rizzuti hanging out with you on a Wednesday as we always do. And it's time to make that first crew call of the day. Going to take it down to Huntersville, North Carolina. Joe Gibbs Racing is the race team and the crew chief of the number 18 M&M's Toyota. It's driven by Kyle Busch, but the man who calls the shots is Adam Stevens. Adam, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, congrats on the win at Bristol. It must be nice when your driver gets that sweep at the world's fastest half mile.
I tell you what, that place hasn't been too kind to our team here in recent history. Been fast, but haven't had much to show for it. So to finally put it all together, and after he was able to win the truck and the Xfinity race is just the icing on the cake. So it was a great weekend.
Hey, how did the PJ1 affect the race for you guys? Because it seemed like Kyle wanted to jump up high even at the very start of the race.
Yeah, you know, that PJ1's some tricky stuff.
Yeah.
They spray it in practice, and it's super sticky, and the track is just light years faster than it would be without it. And you have to be in it to go out there and run speed and make lap time. And as a result, there's nobody up on top mostly during practice putting rubber down to bring that groove in either. But you know eventually that PJ1 is going to start to wear off on the bottom, and that people are going to migrate to the top and start to rubber that in, and that lane's going to come in. So you really have to make sure that your setup is going to work on the top and the bottom. But, you know, it was interesting that as the race went on that, you know, there'd be some stretches where the top would be pretty fast and some stretches where the bottom would be pretty fast. And if you had to get around a car, you could pretty much make either line work if your car was working well.
So Kyle's closing in on 100 wins in the Xfinity Series, closing in on 200, I guess, about 180 overall between the top 3 series. Is that the milestone he's trying to reach? Once he gets to 200, is he going to slow down a little bit? How far is this dude going to take this? It's impressive.
Man, I highly doubt that. You know, I have heard him say that 100 will be enough in the Xfinity Series, but, man, beyond that, I think he's going to race until we have to drag him out of the car is what he's going to do. But, you know, that's just what he loves to do. That's his golf game. That's his poker game. That's his fishing and woodworking. It's all racing. You know, some of us have some hobbies on the side, and Kyle has racing, and that's it. If it has a steering wheel and and they can slap his name on the door. He'll jump in it and drive it.
Yeah, he'll drive just about everything. You know, Adam, one of the things we've seen throughout the history of this sport, that you start to get some wins, you build up some momentum. So are you happy with where the off weekend is falling, or would you rather be at a racetrack this weekend?
You know, there's no better time to take a break than after you win a race. I know that for a fact. The last thing you want is to go to have a poor run and not execute, and then have to sit on your hands for a weekend. That's miserable. But yeah, if you're going to have an off weekend, you better do it coming off a win. That's for sure.
Well, what are you going to do? You're going to spend some time with the family? How are you going to get away and relax? I guess truly enjoy the win.
Well, my kids start school this week, so we had an open house yesterday morning and got to meet the teachers. And yep, they start. One of them starts tomorrow. One of them starts Thursday. So I'll be dropping them off at school and getting them accustomed to that deal. And I'm just hanging out around the house and doing all those house projects that you guys get to do on the weekends that I have to weasel in during the year. And all my guys are off this week, so shop's pretty quiet from a race team perspective. Shop guys are still building cars, but you know, it's good. It's a good time of the year to kind of catch your breath before the chase and make sure you have all your ducks in a row.
It's a good chance to recharge as we head towards the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, new for this year are the playoff points. You guys have the second most of any of the teams out there. Have you figured out quite how these will play off? At what point in time in these next couple races do you think about, hey, let's pad some more playoff points? Or are you always thinking just the bigger picture and the checkered flag?
Well, you're always thinking both things. You know, when you're scoring segment wins, you're only getting 1 point at a time. But when you're scoring race wins, you're getting 5 points at a time. So you have to kind of prioritize that first. But anytime you can swoop in there and score some segment points, it's a big deal. And not only winning the segments, but finishing as high in the segments as you possibly can, because they do award so many points for the top 10 at the in regular season points before the chase begins. So it's a big deal. It's going to completely change our playoff system, and you know, the 78 team is going to be at a tremendous advantage, and us as well if we can keep scoring some more points and maintain this second place position and grab those 10 points, I believe. I think that's going to really bode well for us in the chase and certainly take some pressure off the earlier rounds. And depending on who wins and who gets through, you know, Martinsville, Texas, and Phoenix, it might be impossible to beat the 78. But then again, he might win a race, and then you might have the second most points, and it might be impossible to beat us, you know. Yeah. So it's going to completely change it, but it all depends on who's winning the races out of that group and who has the most bonus points and how that stacks up.
Well, the next chance to score some points will be at Darlington, the Bojangles Southern 500, the Lady in Black. What does Kyle look for in a car at Darlington? What's he like to get around that place?
Well, whatever he's looking for, I haven't been able to give it to him the last 2 years. We have absolutely struggled there. I would say on paper it's probably been one of our worst tracks. But, you know, I think we've finished 10th or outside the top 10, right around top 10 there. But, man, it was a struggle to do that. So, you know, it's really tough because the surface is so wore out and it just completely eats your tires up. So you're having to come up with a really soft and grippy mechanical setup, which is the exact opposite of what you would do to make a real high-performing aerodynamic setup. So those two things are completely fighting each other. And we just haven't found the right compromise quite yet. But our teammates have. So we have plenty of good notes to look at. But I think we're going to have to change our practice approach a little bit to make sure that we're making smart decisions and making the right compromises to make sure we have a good race setup.
Well, it'll certainly be fun to watch. Congratulations again on the huge win at Bristol in dominating fashion. I know you guys had to really work for that one, but it was a lot of fun to watch. Enjoy the weekend off, and we look forward to seeing you down at Darlington here in about a week or so.
All right, Tony, Kid, thank you guys.
There he is.
Thanks so much.
Adam Stevens, big win. Yeah, going to have to try someday.
That's awesome.
You know, what's
dude.
funny, Kid, when you look at Darlington, I would think because the tires wear out and you slip and slide and you have to be so close to the wall, I would think just in my mind's eye, perfect track for Kyle Busch, right? If you talk about Kyle Busch,
paper, right?
best
As
car
you say
control
that makes sense.
of any, only one win in his history in the Cup Series at Darlington.
Next weekend.
Could be interesting. They're going to have to try something different. He told us that right there. Good to talk to Adam Stevens. All right, we got to take a break, and more Crew Call coming up right after this.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
If you or your family love the freedom of swimming any time of year, if you love sharing good times and making great memories, or if you want one of the best total body workouts ever, then it's time to discover the 3 C's of your very own endless pool. The first C is convenience. Imagine swimming year-round in your own private swimming pool, installed indoors or out, just steps away. The second C is comfort. With sculpted spa seats and your own adjustable temperature, you can easily escape the stress of your day. And the third C is cost. Your endless pool is an affordable luxury at a fraction of the cost of a regular pool. And here's a bonus C, choice. Because when you call for your free Endless Pool Idea Kit, you'll receive information on our full line of pools to suit your budget and location.
Call now for free information. 800-283-8089. 800-283-8089.
I'm sorry, Mr. France isn't available right now. Let me connect you to Tony Rizzuti and Kid Cruz.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call. Kid, Tony, hanging out with you on a Wednesday, having a good time. And it's time to make that second Crew Call of the day. And we're going to make it over to Hickory, North Carolina.
Ooh.
Former NASCAR driver, MRN pit reporter, Glenn Jarrett on the phone. Glenn, how are you today, sir?
Hey, man, I'm great. How you doing?
Good. Are we keeping you off the golf course?
No, we're not going to play for about an hour yet.
Well, there we go. Where are we playing today?
I'm sorry?
Where are you playing today?
We're going to play at the Catawba Country Club.
Look
That's
at
the one
that.
that my dad lives on right there. He lives right off the 8th green. That's the one that we all grew up playing on, so it's our home course. That's where we'll be today.
That's a good spot. Played there with Michael Waltrip one time. In fact, you might have, maybe Dale was with us. Somebody was with us. It was a good time. Hey, let's talk about Bristol a little bit and how impressive was Kyle Busch over the weekend, sweeping all 3 races. This guy's an incredible talent behind the wheel, isn't he?
Oh, there's no question about that. We've always known that, and yet he continues to prove it more and more in ways that most other people would think unthinkable. Because what he did there, that's the second time he's done that. We all know that he did it in 2010, but the way he did it this past week and weekend was pretty incredible. Having to come from the rear pretty much in every event. Of course, we covered the truck race on MRN Radio, and I was on pit road and watched that, and his ability to work traffic there and not even slow down is truly nothing short of amazing. And then he did the same thing again on obviously on Friday night, and then I wanted to see Eric Jones win because he needs a win to get in the playoffs, but the performance of Kyle Busch was it's just amazing. There's no other word for it. I talked to my brother a little bit. We actually went up to Bristol and played golf Sunday after the race, and Dale stayed over. And I told him, we were in the car together, and I said, I think Kyle Busch may be the best of all time ever at Bristol. I know Darrell Waltrip won a lot of races there, but I don't think anybody has ever driven that track more aggressively and gotten more out of it, more success than what Kyle Busch does. That was an amazing feat.
Well, let me ask you a hypothetical, Glenn. If you were starting a Cup team tomorrow and you had the best equipment, the best crew, the best funding, whatever, and you had to pick one driver, would he be the driver you'd take? And if not, who else would be on that list?
Well, he would obviously have to be on the short list, but the other one that I would take would be Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah.
I think that he is the most, even though we know he's successful, but I look back over the past 2 years of all the races he should have won, that something went wrong in the pits. Yeah. Something weird happened on the racetrack. They had bad luck. Things like that. I just think that Martin Truex and Kyle Busch are the 2 guys that are at the top of their game right now. You can't count out Kyle Larson, but I think the other 2 guys primarily just because of their overall experience everywhere. Those would be the 2 guys that would be on my list.
Hey, Glenn, let's talk racing movies. I've never heard this story, man. You were involved with one of the greatest NASCAR movies of all time, Six Pack with Kenny Rogers, 1982. What did you do on that film? That's awesome.
I was very fortunate. I met the guy that was producing that thing at the race in Atlanta the fall before they started shooting that in 1981, and I gave him a business card. I said, look, if you need any help with anything, you call me. I can get you in touch with the drivers. We're all set. You know how it is with Hollywood guys. And I said, okay. So I just forgot about it. Well, lo and behold, I think it was sometime in late January or sometime they called me and said the guy that we were going to use to procure all the cars, line everything up, is not going to be able to do it. Is there any way you can do it? This was a week before they were going to start shooting. And so it was actually the weekend, the week between Daytona and Rockingham. Those were the first two races of the year. And so it was like on a Friday, so I jumped in the car and went to Rockingham and started talking to guys. Got a bunch of guys lined up to do the, to have the cars there for the filming, which was only about 10 days later. So I was listed I got a screen credit, NASCAR Technical Coordinator. That was my job.
Fancy, fancy. Did you get like a signed movie poster? Were you invited to the world premiere? Nothing. Hollywood like that?
No. Tony, once they left me, they just pretty much forgot about me. But I did get to spend a little time with Kenny Rogers and Aaron Gray, who were two of the stars in the movie. And
Aaron Gray, she was smoking at the time, man.
Had a great time. We actually was the big wreck there at the end where the guy hits the wall down in 3 and 4 really hard, the bad guy. And of course, that was a stunt driver, but we were. We had, it was me and I think Richard Childress and a bunch of guys that, that were down there. And they gathered us all together and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go out and run around. You guys are going to race around a little while. And then we're going to, when we show you the yellow flag, that means on the next lap, when you go into turn 3, he's going to crash and he's going to be in front of you. And your job is to try to miss him if you can. And so he went down there, and this stunt guy, we had told him what to do. We told him to block the back brakes off, or the front brakes off, and just jammed the brakes on. He went in the corner. We said, it will turn around. And but they didn't do that. They said, no, we can't take that chance. So we're just going to have him drive straight into the wall. And so this guy the stunt guy was a Native American Indian. His name was Henry. He was a great guy. I loved talking to him. But he went down in there and he drove that car full throttle right into the middle of the wall between 3 and 4. And he came off of there, he bounced off of there, and pieces were flying everywhere. And somehow we all managed to miss him. So we came back around the next time. Somebody had pulled him out of the car, and he was laying on the apron at the bottom there. And he had knocked him out, knocked him cold. And the rescue crew hadn't even got to him yet. And so I stopped to make sure he was okay. And we finally got him to come to. So a little bit later, we're sitting around eating lunch at the compound there, and I asked him, I said, Henry, just out of curiosity, I said, what do you get for something like that? He said, we get union scale.
Oh, no.
He said, we get paid so much a day. I said, well, just out of curiosity, how much is that? He said, $287.50. I said, you need to find a new line of work.
Oh, man.
Awesome.
Talking with Glenn Jarrett. Be on the broadcast from Road America this weekend as the NASCAR Xfinity Series takes to the road course up there in Wisconsin. The Johnsonville 180, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on your local station, MRN.com or the MRN app. All right, before we play this game, I want to ask you one final question here, Glenn. We got the Darlington Throwback Race coming up here around the corner. You raced there, I believe, 7 times, 2 top 10s. Where did that track rank as far as the toughest tracks you faced as a driver?
I think it was, obviously the toughest. It was a hard place to get around. The first time that I went there, I had a lot of problems. This was in a Busch car and the old Xfinity, what the Xfinity series was at that time. But the second time I went there, I had a pretty good car. We were running Ford Fairmont, and we had one of the only Fords in the field, me and Mark Martin. But I was running pretty well. I was in the top 5 or 6 and had stayed on the lead lap a long time. But David Pearson was driving the Chattanooga Chew car at that time, and he came along to lap me, and I was following Darrell Waltrip. I was running 4th. Waltrip was running 3rd, and I saw Pearson coming in the mirror, and I thought, if anybody knows how to get around this place, it's him. And he went by and lapped me, and so I said, I'm going to follow him, and I saw immediately what I was doing wrong. It all had to do with what is now turns 1 and 2, was 3 and 4 at that time. But I was not being nearly aggressive on the enough on the throttle. Once I went down and put my left front tire on the apron down there, I was really waiting for the car to run back up the racetrack to set before I hit the throttle. Pearson hit that apron down there, and he was gone like a shot out of a cannon. And immediately my lap times picked up by about a quarter to 3/10 of a second. And so I was able to have a good finish that day. But even though I ran well that day and a couple other times, I'd go back. And to me, going back to Darlington, it's almost like you have to reset your mind every single time for what you have to do there. And that is, you do not race the other cars, you race the racetrack. And it's because if you don't, she'll bite you in the rear end before you can turn around.
Love talking stories with Glenn. Jarrett, you know, kid, Glenn's really good at trivia. He's good at movie trivia.
He is.
I got a feeling he'll be good at trivia. We're going to play a little 5-on, 5-off when we come back from the commercial break. Glenn Jarrett, Kid Cruz. It's all coming up next here on Crew Call.
I'm Steve Letarte, STP auto expert and former crew chief. I know what it takes to keep engines performing at their best. STP's latest breakthrough additive, STP Ultra 5-in-1 plus Fuel System Cleaner plus Fuel Stabilizer, delivers 3 times the amount of cleaning agents versus premium gasoline and helps keep fuel fresh during storage. For over 60 years, STP has been on the cutting edge developing products to help engines run better, longer.
One bottle contains 3 times by weight the amount of cleaning agents compared to 20 gallons of the leading premium gasoline.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When the smoke settles, the entertainment never stops.
It's all a family sport.
On race weekends, your favorite NASCAR personality is an everyday superhero.
Brad Keselowski will win.
But when they leave the racetrack, they're just like everyone else.
We just have to find the value package that connects a new generation of fans.
I'm Susie Armstrong. Join me on a daily journey as we discuss the hot topics and engaging personalities of NASCAR Nation. Ned Jarrett's World of Racing, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
Time now for Motor Racing Network's #1 game show. The game where MRN talent prove their mettle against the unshakable Kid Cruz to see if they've truly earned the right to sit atop the pit box or if they're simply a tool. It's 5-on, 5-off on MRN Crew Call.
Getting ready to play the game here on the show. By the way, Kid, I was watching the Inside Line Fantasy Show last Friday.
I'm sorry.
Robbie Mays is our director today, and he completely dissed us. Tyler brought up not that other game show, and he said that game show doesn't even exist.
I didn't hear about it because apparently not a lot of people watch the show.
There's no love? We can't work together, Robbie? Robbie's sitting in the room with us. He's turning all shades of red.
The screen's going to go to black in about 2 seconds.
He's turning shades of red like a hot pink center, like I get in my Creekstone burger. I like a medium rare. And fans, we've held over this promotion for another month. Speed over to creekstonefarms.com today. Use promo code MRNBurgers to get a box of 6 tender premium burgers free when you place an order of $100 or more. Visit creekstonefarms.com and use promo code MRNBurgers to get your delicious free burgers today. Summer's wrapping up. Kids are going back to school. One last cookout. That's what I say. Throw some burgers on the grill.
I cook out in January, February. I don't care.
I do too. All right, it's time to play the game. I haven't even teased what the category is today. The category is off week.
Make sure Glenn is on hold. I don't want him cheating. He's a pit reporter. I tend to lose to them. I need all the help I can get here. So.
All right, category's off week. Robbie's going to put I hope Robbie's going to put 45 seconds on the clock. We didn't embarrass him too much. He doesn't like this game, so this clock may go faster. All right, kid. Yeah. We're running behind. Your time starts right now. How many turns at Road America?
11.
What's the population of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin?
13,000.
What's the greatest depth in fathoms of Lake Michigan? How many fathoms deep is the deepest point?
How many fathoms
deep?
What is a fathom?
I don't know. I just asked the
40.
questions.
No, it's crazy.
What's the total when you add up the individual numbers 8675309?
86753. I only have 45 seconds here.
20.
Let's see, 31. No, that's 2.
And a Category 5 hurricane starts at what wind speed?
A Cat 5?
Yeah.
At 137.
There we go.
Right
There
on
we go.
time. Not good with the quick math there.
Hey, Daryl and Robbie, I don't think we're going to have a tie today, do you? No, this could be it. Glenn, you back with us?
I'm here. Yes, sir.
Glenn's
Kid
got
can
this.
attest to you. These are ridiculous questions this week.
Ridiculous.
A little hint, the category is off week, and that hint does you really no good. We're going to put 45 seconds on the clock. Again, just try to get as close to the number as you can. 45 seconds. Robbie's got 0 on there. That's how he sabotages the game. All right, 45 seconds, Glenn. Here we go. Your time starts right now. How many turns are there at Road America?
14.
What's the population of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin?
5,000.
What is the greatest depth in fathoms of Lake Michigan? At its deepest point, how many fathoms?
600.
What's the total when you add up the individual numbers 8675309?
867. Tommy two-tone.
Yeah, it is.
8675309. 22. That's a guess.
Okay, and a Category 5 hurricane starts at what wind speed?
110.
110.
Beat the buzzer. Hey, this is
We're
going to be
in there.
interesting. This will be close.
Well, we're going to have to do some serious math here, I think, today. All right, we're going to bring in producer Daryl Smith. Hi, Daryl.
I know 38 now.
How you doing today?
8675309.
I'm good. How are you?
We're all over the map, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, and we're probably killing your time, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. All right, well, we'll jump right into these. The first question was, how many turns at Road America? Kid said.
11.
And Glenn Jarrett said.
14.
The correct answer.
14.
Of course it is. He's on the race broadcast. He knows how many turns there. My favorite is turn 12, Canada Corner. What's the population of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin? That's where the racetrack is located nearest to. Kid said.
13,000.
And Glenn said.
5,000.
The correct answer
is 42,000.
How about that?
All right, wow.
I think they count the cows, the pigs,
must,
the
right?
whole 9 yards. Kid gets the point there. It's 1-1.
All right.
What's the greatest depth in fathoms of Lake Michigan? You know, Sheboygan, where we stay, right on Lake Michigan. What's its deepest point? Kid said.
40.
40 fathoms. What did Glenn say?
600.
600 fathoms. The correct answer?
153.
153. I can do the quick math, and that is Kid Cruz. He takes a 2-1 lead. I enjoyed this one. What's the total when you add up the individual numbers? 8675309.
We know
it's
it's
tough to do when you're on a time thing.
38, right?
But Kid said
31.
31, and Glenn Jarrett said
22.
What was it, Kid?
38.
38 is the correct answer when you have the time to do the math. Kid's up 3-1.
I win.
He will take the win, but let's see where Glenn shakes out on number 5, which is a Category 5 hurricane starts at what wind speed? You know, we got something brewing out there in the Gulf, headed towards Texas. Don't think it'll get to 5, but Kid said
137.
137 miles an hour. Glenn said
110.
110. The correct answer?
155.
155. Kid Cruz with the 4-1 win. But Glenn, next time we'll do music trivia, and I think you can sweep the table.
Well, I hope I do better than I did today.
Hey, buddy, as always, we appreciate the time. We love the stories. We love what you bring to MRN Radio, and we're excited to hear the broadcast this Sunday, 2:30 Eastern Time, MRN stations, MRN.com, and the MRN app. It's the Johnsonville 180. Hit them straight today, my friend, and make lots of putts.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, and I'm looking forward to this weekend.
All right, there he is, Glenn
Thanks,
Jarrett.
Glenn. Love that guy.
Jumping off. That was a lot of fun. 4-1. You're back on your game.
I know. I haven't demolished anyone like that in a while.
He
Poor
didn't
Glenn
really
Jarrett.
know what he was walking into, though, did he?
No, he didn't. But if we were on the golf course, it would be reversed times like 1,000. He would destroy me.
It would definitely be reversed. I had fun today.
As did I.
Yeah.
You have some of those burgers standing by? Do we
Yeah.
get to go to the grill now?
Absolutely. Hey, if you came in late to the broadcast, as always, you can go back to our Facebook page, watch it back. You can listen on iTunes, Stitcher, all the places you get your stuff. Also on demand in that section of MRN.com. Again, racing coming up from Road America this week, and then next week, STP week, Darlington throwback. You got a favorite throwback yet that you've seen?
Not. Wait, what was the Kowicki one? Was it announced yesterday?
Yeah, the
was
one
it Ryan
with
Reed
Ryan
or
Reed?
something? Yeah.
That looks
Thinking
sharp.
that, yeah.
I'm a petty guy, so anytime we get the petty colors, I'm real happy. All right, for Glenn Jarrett, Kid Cruz, for Daryl Smith, Adam Stevens, Robbie Mays, I'm Tony Rizzuti. As always, thank you for watching Crew Call, and we'll see you next week here on MRN.com.
You've been listening to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Stream us every Wednesday at noon on MRN.com or on the MRN app. MRN Crew Call is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, or download it through iTunes or Google Play. MRN Crew Call is a production of the Motor Racing Network. Goodbye.